Hello viewers and welcome to the latest episode of The Huddle. Tim Paul here and I'm at the TxODDS London HQ with Jake O'Mahony, Commercial Executive. Jake, thanks for joining me.
Cheers, Tim. No, good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk to you about the World Cup. Tell us about TxODDS offering and what you're hoping to achieve. Quite a big summer.
Yeah, huge summer with the World Cup, especially with it being stateside. Probably going to expect massive volumes, record volumes in the US. I mean, especially with the prediction market kind of landscape playing out as it is. But we're going to be collecting the global market data for odds, and we're going to be distributing that in real time, in play, pre-match, and a lot of sports books and trading groups and prediction markets are going to be able to use this data to power their in-play offering, to be able to list new markets. We're going to be delivering player prop data very efficiently as well. And this is kind of the core of our business, really. We've delivered odds for a number of years to our customers, and they use this to do a whole host of things in house, like set markets, manage risk. So it's should be a huge summer, really.
Yeah, when it comes to World Cups and how betting has maybe changed over the years, we had certain things that changed things. Cash out, in-play bet builders. This is going to be the first World Cup where prediction markets, not that they've existed, but that they've been this mainstream. How is that going to change how things play out, especially you mentioned it's in the States?
Honestly, I think the ecosystem's quite well laid out to suit whatever kind of a punter you are, whether that's a more recreational gambler or whether that's a group with a kind of more vested interest in creating prices and acting upon them. I think it'll be interesting, and I do think the liquidity for some of these prediction markets could definitely outshine some of the sports books in the US. So it'll be interesting to see some of the handle, but with the kind of increase of availability of data, especially around players and around kind of new data sets, I would say is giving new entrants access to data sets that they need to create models and to be able to price up stuff that's happening in these events. And I think when you combine that with the kind of retail flow and kind of the maybe more guided and sharper groups that are taking action as well, it's going to create a very healthy kind of ecosystem, I think. And it's just kind of about how some of these prediction markets, I think, even deal with their win pool kind of management to keep some sharper groups and to kind of work with groups having different execution strategies as well. Should be interesting, but I do think that there's something for everyone if you're trying to have a bet, or if you're trying to trade on this tournament, because there's a host of operators and there's a host of brokerages even and facilities now in the US that you're able to go to, and you can have a piece of the action here. So it should be interesting, and I think we're quite well placed, to be honest. We're at the intersection of data and sports in the US with the kind of stuff that we're collecting and shipping. So we're able to give kind of different groups insights into historical data as well. It's interesting.
This might be quite a big, broad question, but in the build-up to this World Cup, there's been a lot of discussion, or certainly some discussion about, will this change how football or soccer is bet on in North America? So could this be a turning point where people see it on a world stage? It's in America and Canada and Mexico. Do you think we'll actually see more football as we know it betting in North America after this event, or might it be more of it's nice to have it now and then go back to the sort of big four after that?
Soccer, if you will, is growing massively in America year on year, and even having kind of spent time over there, you sort of see the adoption of it. I think because soccer being the most bet on sport in the world and having been so for as long as gambling's been around, I think bringing that kind of sort of gambling expertise in soccer globally to the US, and obviously with it being such a multicultural place, and especially with this World Cup spread amongst 3 countries, I think you're going to definitely see a sustained sort of volume, I'd imagine, in soccer, and especially as the Premier League will be led into post-World Cup. But the MLS as well is a very kind of, it can be up and down as a tournament, which I think is definitely, as a league, which is attractive to customers and to punters, because the prices are moving very quickly in a lot of those games. They're attracting more talent over there as well in terms of players and quality. So I think soccer is going to keep growing in America, but I think as well you're going to need to see a bit more work from some of the operators, maybe on making the longer form content and the longer tail kind of betting opportunities available to a lot of the states as well, and a lot of the groups of punters that want to maybe bet more on soccer and have access to strong pricing in those kind of markets. And that's where it'll be interesting as well to see how the volume for soccer and this kind of longer tail, less popular content, how those markets can be made on prediction markets, and if there's a kind of future to for them to be able to perhaps create more longevity in some of these lower liquid markets at the moment, leagues that aren't as popular. It'd be interesting to see if they'd be able to find a way to cater to that kind of audience in a way that the typical OSBs have done. But I guess it's difficult too, because a lot of these prediction markets, they want to productize the sports betting or the sports trading element of that as much as possible, with it being such large volume and handle of their total money and the total handle that they're taking. But they also have to combat, the regulatory stuff that they're dealing with. The states are kind of taking on the federal government over in the US at the moment, and I completely see why a lot of states who are getting large revenue, payments large payments every month from these sports books are, seeing that decrease potentially. But that could definitely be interesting to see how the longer form, the longer tail as well, sports content and football content specifically, could fit into prediction markets in the US.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to prediction markets, obviously, headlines and stories on those daily for us and across the media. I don't think you'll have a day in the industry where there's not less than 5-10 prediction market related stories.
Yeah,
it's definitely the talk of the town in North America. When it comes to maybe South America and the Latin American opportunity, obviously the World Cup is not in Brazil or Argentina, but it is in Mexico. Is there a slightly even bigger appeal than normal? Is almost like a half a market extra, or in terms of LATAM, what we're looking at?
I'd say it'll probably be record breaking in LATAM as well. This is the kind of World Cup where it's at the pinnacle of globalization as well. You have such global connectivity amongst different apps and networks and social media. It's so easy to have moments go viral. I'd be surprised if LATAM wasn't breaking records and doing new volume numbers as well. I think it's definitely interesting to see as well how that can affect the localized betting in those countries too. And this is something we talk to operators around as well, having different risk in different countries and how different groups can manage that essentially. And localized pricing is going to be very important, I'd say, for some of these countries in Latin America that are going to have teams that are going to take good handle as well. Mm-hmm. And it's the age-old question as well. England are always going to be shorter in England to back than in other countries, because the bookies, it's a terrible result if England lose for them here, right? I think it'd be interesting to see how some of these new brands, particularly global brands, are going to be pricing more regionally in South America and Latin America for this tournament. But I think it's tricky, because this is where market odds come into play as well, where you need to know what the market's doing in certain countries that these operators are in. And territory by territory, there's different things that are going to impact the offering that you're going to be putting out. Like the locality is very important with this. So that's as well where we're very keen to work with our customers and partners too, and help them work out their strategies for these markets and how they can price most efficiently to retain customers, and how they can sort of even use some of their marketing to retain customers, and where they can allocate some of their spend to have the most profitable sportsbook for the World Cup.
You mentioned the global nature, and when it comes to time zones, obviously the time zones will be okay in US and North America, but a lot of core markets, for example, the UK, where we are right now, for some bettors, it'll kind of the 2 a.m. kickoffs and 3 a.m. kickoffs, with that slight difference to, obviously Qatar was different as well. How do you solve a problem like time zones where for one market it'll be okay, but for potentially big betting markets, it's middle of the night?
Yeah. I mean, the US platforms and apps that are placing the infrastructure, that have hosting the infrastructure to place these bets, are going to be stress tested in the US like never before. I know NFL is obviously huge, and Super Bowl is like a very, very big event for our industry as well. But this is going to be like a Super Bowl every day, not in terms of volume,
long period, yeah.
Not in terms of volume daily, but longevity wise, it's a sustained period that operators are going to have to be really making sure they've resourced capably for this, and that they know what they're going to be taking on, and that they're even aware of kind of early pricing is going to be very important for this World Cup too, especially as you say there with different time zones. But of course, it's an opportunity again there for the operators to ensure their North American product is as strong as possible, whilst also being able to cater to the UK audience and the European and an Asian audience as well. But I do think there's a lot of ways that groups can use this to their advantage as well. And I'm sure there's lots of promotional kind of activity and scheming going on at these companies of how they can get the most volume and handle as possible out of the tournament.
You mentioned big stress test. When it comes to AI, obviously, so within trading in the industry, AI has been around for a few years. It's not anything new, but it's especially for players themselves, but even for the industry, it's never been quite as hot a topic. How is that going to help? How is that going to change things this summer?
Everyone's using AI, whether you're an operator, whether you're a trading group, whether you're a punter, everyone's using it in their day-to-day life. And it's just kind of how organizations, I think, can best use it on a larger scale, potentially, and incorporate into their workflows and their systems and even their trading systems and risk management systems. But a lot of that comes, with having the right data to build on top of. And we're lucky as well here that we have a great team of experts who have been checking and verifying a lot of our infrastructure and sources. And that's what we do. We monitor constantly, and we make sure that we're at the place we should be to serve our clients and serve our customers, because we don't trade ourselves. We're the people providing the data to these groups who need to use it and use it in the way that's going to help them best. So I think AI is interesting, but I think it's very important that it's obviously being fed with the right prompts and has the right kind of user controlling it. But I think it'll be interesting to see how a lot of companies are able to incorporate this on a larger scale and roll it out across their kind of operation. And every week you're hearing about new updates and new models being rolled out that are specific to different things as well, and that bring lots of different benefits. But I think it's interesting, even just sort of seeing the way that automation and bet placements developed. Autonomous systems are very, very powerful within sports betting, and risk management as well, being able to work around that and sort of having the right data set to create those workflows off and to be able to power those systems is very important. So yeah, we're excited to even be looking at this ourselves and working with some of our top technologists in our team to see how we can incorporate that as well, and how we can keep producing consistently the best data as well. So I say on a company level, that's how we're looking at AI. But even punters are able to, you're able to work with lots of different models to potentially give you edges, or to evaluate past data sets, or to look at historical data and see if there are any edges, because there's a lot of kind of new groups deploying capital to sports, and especially with prediction markets, you're seeing such volume every day. And it's not just American sports, you're seeing it in soccer now, and it's going to lead in, of course, to the epicenter of this summer. But everyone's using it across the board, and I think it's definitely seems to be helping a lot of people.
Staying on this theme of data and as you mentioned in the previous question, stress testing, what are the biggest mistakes companies, suppliers and operators alike can make this summer, and then how do you avoid them?
It's easy to misread risk, or to not see risk coming, especially in global sports where things are changing day to day, and there's so much kind of happening in the lives of people that is difficult to account for, and it's difficult to incorporate into a lot of models. But every day here we're making sure that our infrastructure and the data that we're delivering is being monitored and being passed through to our customers in the most efficient and best way possible. We can only speak to the efforts and the steps that we take really to make sure that we're producing what we can for our partners and customers. And it's been really exciting, to be honest, to see the steps that we've taken, even in working with our new platform Fusion, and just developing the kind of infrastructure around there to be able to provide and aggregate the data in the right way. And then just honestly, I'd say it's the consistency that we're 25 years in the running this year, and we've had a lot of long-standing partners who work very, very closely with our data set, and we're fortunate enough to be able to have been powering them for a long time, and they're long-standing partnerships and relationships that we have, and we're always keen to sort of help and take feedback from our customers too, and be able to incorporate new things into our work and our delivery. So I think those are definitely things that we're keeping on top of at the moment.
Final topic, an important one. What is for the industry, odds-wise and profit-wise, who's the best winner of the World Cup in terms of a good result for the industry?
It's a great question. I guess good price for the good winner for the industry. It's difficult because obviously a lot of books will have big positions against England, against France, against Argentina. But listen, if England win, it would be a terrible result for any English book around. The same way I'd imagine with some teams like Colombia and Mexico as well would be terrible results, proven to come through their groups. I'd imagine in North America too. But it'd be interesting as well to see how, as the tournament goes on, how pricing reacts to this performance of some teams, and you never know. I'm sure there could be a few underdog stories potentially from North America as well. Of course, if the USA end up going on a good run, I'm sure their price will collapse and we'll be getting slammed by a lot of recreational punters over there. So yeah, I think those are kind of some results that off the top of my head that probably wouldn't be great, but yeah, it'd be good to get an exciting tournament anyway and some good upsets.
Yeah, and that links to what you talked about earlier. It might be interesting to see how the prediction markets, how quickly they'll react to kind of results and upsets, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
A final question, and this is not the most important one. Well, actually, it is. Who's going to win the World Cup?
I'm gonna say England this year. I think I do think I don't watch a lot of soccer myself, but listen, they gotta get over the hump at some point, right? And hey, good players, good team. So fingers crossed. Let's see.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I'm going to hopefully agree with you, but I hope you prove me wrong. I'm not as hopeful, but yeah. Let's see what happens this summer.
Listen, it'll be a good tournament.
Listen, thank you very much for your time. Been a great discussion, and let's see what the World Cup brings.
Yeah, good to chat to you, Tim. Thank you.